Mom, I'm hungry. Mom, I'm bored. Dad, I'm cold. Layla, can you make me a snack?
Are your legs broken?
Rude.
What's rude is you being so needy lately. You need to start being able to take care of yourself a little.
But I'm the youngest in the family. You guys are supposed to take care of me.
Nobody's asking you to get a job. Just learn how to take care of yourself more around the house with little things.
No way. I'm the baby.
You're no baby anymore, Leo. I'm gonna nip this right now. What's a good word for taking care of yourself?
Independence.
That'll work.
Should have kept my mouth shut.
I'm sorry, children. You just missed our last class for the day.
Oh, we weren't trying to make it to class, but my brother here is in need of learning a lesson. Is this your classroom?
I'm actually the president of this university, not an instructor. I was just visiting this history class because today's lesson covered one of my favorite topics.
We're from the future, and I love history. What was today's topic?
America's independence from Britain.
Oh, independence. Perfect. I'm Layla, and my brother Leo here really needs a lesson on learning how to do some things for himself and be more independent. Since independence is one of your favorite topics, do you think you can help us?
Well, it's very nice to meet you two. My name is Booker T. Washington, and I'd love to help. Helping people learn to take care of themselves is kind of my specialty, and I've dedicated my life's work to educating young people on the importance of independence and making themselves as valuable as possible.
But Mr. Washington, I'm just a kid. I don't think I should have to take care of myself. That's what my mom, dad, and big sister are for.
Young man, you could not be more wrong. If you listen to the story of my life, I think you'll change your thinking.
Okay, I'll listen.
Well, for starters, I was born a slave in Virginia. I never knew anything about my father, and my mother had to work very hard. She couldn't spend all her time taking care of every little thing for me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I see what you mean. Was being a slave hard?
It was terrible. I rarely got enough to eat, and I worked all the time. Hard work is great when you can benefit from it, but I couldn't because I was a slave. I remember my mother praying every day that freedom would come. And when I was about 7 years old, those prayers were answered.
The Civil War?
Yes. During the Civil War, thanks to the Emancipation Proclamation, President Abraham Lincoln made slavery illegal in the South like it had been in the North. And as soon as the war was over and the Union Army took control of the area of Virginia where my mother and I lived, we left to meet up with my stepfather in West Virginia.
I hate that our country had slavery. Mr. Washington, sometimes do you wish you could have lived somewhere else? Like a different country?
That's a great question. And I hate slavery too, but it's been a reality everywhere in the world. And even now in 1910, it's still happening in other countries. Despite our nation not always living up to our declaration that all men are created equal, I am still so proud and thankful to be an American.
Even though you were a slave?
Exactly, because I was, and not anymore. America was one of the first places on earth to outlaw slavery, and hundreds of thousands of men gave their lives in a war that resulted in my freedom. So yes, I am proud and thankful.
Oh, yeah. When you put it that way, it totally makes sense.
But don't think for a second that as soon as former slaves were made free, that life for them became easy. All Black Americans were made citizens when slavery ended, but for most of us, that was just the beginning of our path to freedom.
What do you mean?
Very few slaves had received any education. Not many of us knew how to read, do math, or had learned anything about science or history. Most of us only knew how to do what our tasks as slaves had been.
I see. So you were literally free from slavery, but you weren't really free to do much.
Correct. One of the tragedies of slavery is that it keeps the slave from being able to reach his or her potential. Luckily, I recognized that I needed education, so I taught myself to read, and I read every book I could get my hands on. I worked in coal mines, saved as much money as I could, and when I had enough to enroll in a college, I traveled hundreds of miles, often by walking, to get to a school that had been established for freed Black men.
You walked?
I wanted that education badly.
No kidding. Working in a coal mine is no day at the beach either.
You got that right. But don't forget that there is much dignity in jobs like working in a mine or plowing fields to grow crops. Whether one works outside or inside, with their hands, their minds, or both. All work is important and good, as long as the worker is free to benefit from their labor and choose what they do.
So you chose to be a president of a college.
After finishing my schooling, I was recommended to move down here to Alabama to start the Tuskegee Institute, and I've been here for the last 29 years.
It's a nice-looking college.
Thank you. We literally built it ourselves, as in myself and the students.
Really?
Yes, the students who have attended Tuskegee not only learn from academic classes, but they also learn construction and agriculture. Under my guidance, students constructed our first buildings and classrooms and are responsible for growing crops and raising livestock that we can use ourselves or sell for profit. We as a college can take care of ourselves. We're independent, and in achieving this, our students learn academic, farming, and trade skills that make them valuable and independent people who can take care of themselves.
Sounds pretty good, huh, Leo?
Yeah, I guess so.
And here's what's truly wonderful, Leo. When you can take care of yourself and don't require help from others, ironically, it makes people really happy to help you.
What do you mean?
Having proven that we can take care of ourselves, my Tuskegee Institute has gained the attention of U.S. presidents and some of the most wealthy men in the world. Now, whenever we need new buildings or want to start new programs, it's easy to get help. I bet if you begin taking care of yourself in little ways here and there, your family will be excited to help you with things that you really need help with.
Layla, is that true?
Yeah, totally. All we want is for you to be able to make yourself little snacks when you're hungry between meals, or grab yourself a hoodie if you're cold, stuff like that.
Okay.
And when you can take care of yourself, another great thing is that it gives you confidence. You feel great.
Right! I can't wait till I'm old enough to get a part-time job. I need to start saving up to get a car so that once I'm old enough to drive, I won't need mom and dad to always give me a ride.
Aha! You'll be able to do more things for yourself. You'll have more independence. Then you can take me to places like the movies.
Not if I'm making your snacks.
Okay.
Sounds like you're getting it, Leo. If you learn basic skills now as a child and then gradually build on them as you get older, you'll have the freedom to do a lot in this world, even if people try to put barriers up.
But Mr. Washington, does that mean that even though your message is good for anybody and lots of people like helping you, there are still barriers for you and your students?
It's true. Here in my time, no matter how hard we work, sadly, there is still often mistreatment and racial discrimination towards us Black Americans.
We're really sorry that you have to deal with segregation and racism.
Your sympathy is nice, Layla, but know that you have nothing to be sorry about. You and Leo have done nothing wrong and have indeed been quite respectful. Future generations are never responsible for the sins of the past.
Okay, I'll keep doing my best to treat everyone well and won't feel guilty about historical stuff.
Good, you shouldn't. You and Leo will probably never experience oppression at the level we Blacks do now. But someday, you will have a teacher or coach or boss who treats you unfairly and makes life more difficult than it should be. By training yourself now to be self-reliant, you'll be ready for it when it comes.
So, if we can take care of ourselves by learning skills and working hard and improving who we are, then it won't be so bad if life gets unfair.
And it can all start with you making yourself some snacks.
It's kind of like being able to do more for yourself not only gives you freedom, but also gives you a shield against people trying to hold you back.
That is exactly right. I hope this is the lesson you kids came looking for. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
Thanks for talking to us, Mr. Washington. I'm gonna make some ants on a log. You want some?
What?
You know, ants on a log. Celery, peanut butter, raisins.
I know what it is, but that's 3 ingredients. I thought you'd start being independent by just microwaving something. You want some help?
Nah, I got it. The celery's already cut, but I'll yell if something goes wrong.
Aw, my baby Bubba's growing up.
Hey! Get off me!
If you'd like to time travel with Leo and Layla again, please visit PragerUkids.com and watch more of their adventures.